Hello, hello, hello. I want to make a belly booty dancing video, just instructional, just to show the moves. And maybe I will sing something. I'm not gonna play a song right now because it's just too much trouble. But I want to make this video dedicated for all the animals in the world, for all beings, and particularly for all the dogs that are right now in the wintertime in this northern hemisphere of the planet, that are cold, that are in ice and snow, out there on chains. I have seen a PETA video about this, and it made me scream and squeal in pain when I saw that. I cannot stand it. It just causes me to go into unimaginable emotional pain and sobbing and crying and tears and being in resistance and just saying I can't stand it and I need to do something about it, So I tell everyone about it, I talk about it. I'm going to mention this also in the chat room later tonight. Please bring your animals in the house, okay? Wherever you are on the planet, they are your family members. They're your babies. They need to be protected by you. This is very, very important. And particularly in the winter time, we need to bring our animals in the house. Never have a dog on a chain or tethered to something outside. Never ever do something like this. This is cruel to the animal. How would you feel if you were tethered outside to some kind of object with a chain or a rope or whatever, where you have a very narrow range of movement? Or, putting tigers in cages and lions, or dogs in crates, or dolphins in swimming pools, or birds in cages, or any kind of being in a cage or tied, tethered to some kind of short rope, or whether it's a short rope or a long rope, it's all terrible. Some people they think it's okay to have some kind of like a trolley line where they have a long leash and where the dog can run up and down a lawn. That's not so much better. That's maybe a little bit better, but that's also absolutely horrific. So all of this is shackling a being into unfreedom, into being a prisoner, and this is wrong. It's also wrong to shackle us into oppression, into obedience. All of this is wrong. This is wrong physically and psychologically, and I'm trying to shed light onto this situation with my videos as good as I can. I'm going to make the belly booty dancing moves now for my dance video for the animals, for all living beings. Okay, so, and while we're at it, Donald Trump won the election. Okay, just wanted to remind people of that. So anyway, okay, it's my video. Okay, here, I gotta take this off. Take this off. Okay, so I don't know if this shows good enough. So, okay. I love my belly. And I want everyone, every woman and every person in general, to love their bellies, and their skin and their tissue, and be good to yourselves, be good to your bodies, and do movements like this, and stretch and move and make very, very, very wide, liberate movements like this. It's very important to do that. So for all of us, So this is particularly good for women. It is a real good workout for the belly, for the thighs, for the butt, for the back, for all of it. It's really, really good to do this. And there's no shame in it, you know, there's no shame in having fat, there's no shame in having estrogen, there's no shame in being sexual, okay? Particularly women are being shamed, have been shamed. It's been going on my entire life. I've been shamed by my mother, I've been shamed by society for being girly, okay? So then I had to kind of hide that girliness. I had to silence that, you know. That was very difficult for me because it just comes up anyway, you know, even if I silence it, and then it made my mother mad, and then she'll say something mean, or other girls will say something mean, and they try to suppress me with that. But they can't, you know. It is what it is. It is strong girliness, that's what it is. And, you know, I kind of feel awkward about this. I feel like I'm not even allowed to be happy about this, you know. So that's kind of like what they're trying to do. So, and that's so incredibly wrong. You need to move your body. You need to move every muscle in your body like this and feel every muscle. It's also good to do a warm-up, of course. Move everything at once, you know. It's really, really good. When you dance with Slayer, that's really good. But it's also really good to focus on the individual muscles, and it's a real good, also a mental exercise, because the motor system is there at the occipital lobe of the brain, and we can get control over that, you know. We can get control over our movements, and single out the individual movements from the other movements. So, and that's what the belly dancing in particular is doing. You know, like focus on the hips only, relax the shoulders, and that gets the back muscles very, very strengthened. You can see here that part gets definitely strengthened. I can feel it right in here, which is really necessary for me because I got fat brows in there and they need to be strengthened. And it's good to be able to look in the monitor or in the mirror while you do this and see how this moves and how it feels at the same time. And then also up. The belly dancing moves, they also have this movement as well. But the belly dancing is more focused on, it's really an art, you know, to get full control over all the different muscles that are being used. And that really hurts the upper thigh muscles. That really hurts. But that's good. That's a good hurt. You know, it should hurt. But then, if it's hurting too much, you have to relax this. Okay, and then you can shake off your legs. but then continue to do that exercise because that's really important. And particularly with the knees slightly bent and the legs about 1.5 foot apart, something like this, so that it is a relaxed position. And it's important to do a wide move like this. Very important to be generous in that wide move. And that's what really gets into these upper thigh muscles. I set up an OnlyFans account because I need to earn some money for myself, because I'm going to be leaving and I need to have an income. Okay. And on those videos I will show more skin. I will show more of my baby skin that I'm so infinitely grateful for. And I will talk about health as well. You know, I leave no opportunity untouched in talking about health, making the world a better place, saving the animals from suffering. You know, it's very important. But it's also for the senses, of course. So. Yes, I have a jogging pants underneath. That's how cold it is here. It's very, very good for the fat rolls. Yes, I feel like I have to cringe when I watch my videos. Absolutely, I don't have this overinflated self-esteem, but I feel like I need to make these videos anyway, and we need to love ourselves, even if we look dorky, you know, and not up to Hollywood standards. But what good are those standards? They're not serving us at all. Not at all. It is so outdated. Hollywood standards. It's incredible. And also, you don't have to be like a dancer, like completely buff in every movement, in every muscle. You don't have to be like that. But don't become morbidly obese, okay? Because that's a killer. Don't do that to yourself. Shape yourself up. Become whole food vegan and do belly dancing. Very important to do that for your health. Very important. Also, you can do some resistance training as well if you want to. I lift heavy water containers all the time. We do gardening, composting, so that keeps also my upper body in shape and my arms. And I always had, my whole life, I have been working with horses and kept my arms fairly strong. I don't recommend running for obvious reasons. That was never my thing. I had to skip that at school. But these kind of exercises are amazing, and yoga is amazing. I did yoga, I did a lot of yoga. My yoga teacher Heidi in Germany, she was amazing. I learned a lot about circulation and touch, and really cool. And so the treasures are out there, the herbs are out there. There are herbs for everything, for healing everything, including addictions. So it's my recommendation for people. If you are addicted to something, you get that plant kratom from Brazil. Okay, the pharma industry, they're trying to eradicate that all of those regions where it grows, because that's a competitor to them. That's how bad the pharma industry is. That should tell you right there. Okay, the pharma industry is not on your side. The pharma industry is not on the side of planet Earth. The pharma industry is only on the side of mafia and money and power, financial power. That's all they want. That's not empowerment, by the way. Empowerment is if the mafia boss or the CEO says, "I've had it. I'm gonna hang it up on the wardrobe now. I'm leaving. So I'm doing my juicing now." So the heck was that? The heck was the money? You do your thing. That'd be the right move to make. I want to see that happening during my lifetime. I really do. That would be amazing, would that be? Absolutely amazing. Health is empowerment. Health is getting your liberation, your freedom back. So this has been a long time coming for me, getting my liberation, my freedom back, leaving the tiger cage. Very important. I want to set up therapy help centers for people that are suicidal. Obviously, we can't help people that are totally dysfunctional, drug addicts, schizoid, personality disorders, cluster B. We can't help those. Not in the beginning. Okay, we have to have closed facilities for that. We have to have staff. We have to have professionals that help with that. We have to have guards. So we don't have that in the beginning. We're going to start very, very slow with this, with the therapy help center. Paul is like so against it, but it's not his problem anymore. That's not his liability anymore. I'm freeing him legally now of all of these liabilities. This is my thing, this is my liability, this is my risk that I take. And I think this is well worth taking that risk when there are people suicidal and suffering. And have religions helped people? No, they haven't. Okay? Not at all. Actually, they made it worse. They made people really schizo. That's what they did. It just made the ego even worse. It made the ego run off with identifications, with identifying themselves with a specific religion, with a specific hating of another demographic, for example, as in, which religion was that again? I forgot now. But there are so many Christian cults that are hating other people. They're hating the gay community, they're hating other races, and it's just, the list just goes on and on and on. They're completely fascist. Okay. So that's not a way to live at all. That's not freedom. Okay. Freedom is if you think for yourself, if you embrace your body, if you embrace life. That's what freedom is about. And I want to help people get to that, because I'm helping myself get to that. Okay. I have been working on this for a long, long time. My whole life, really. Since my mother had tried to hammer my self-esteem into the ground. Okay. Out of her own pain. Yeah. So I love my mother. I wish her only the best. But I cannot hang out with these people anymore. That I cannot do. Sorry. Okay. And that's why I had to also unchain myself from their financial support. He just thinks this is utter, total insanity and self-sabotage. Naturally, he thinks that, right? I also gave up my inheritance. And, you do your thing. I don't need anything from you. I don't want anything from you. That's not what my life is about. My life is about making things better, not being tethered to some kind of inheritance. That's freedom, baby. That's empowerment. Okay. We can make it. Money is not the only modality. Okay. We can make it through life. We can create a barter system. If you have your health, that alone, that's the foundation of your happiness. I see a lot of rich people that are super unhealthy. Also in the chat room, talk to them. They get vicious if I suggest a different lifestyle. Why do they get vicious? Because they have done this for so long. They identify themselves with it, So that's not a good idea. To identify yourself with your lifestyle, with the stuff you eat. You identify yourself with you eat a pig, so you identify yourself as pork or something. It's suffering. People identify themselves with hunting, with suffering. There are people that identify themselves with bondage. It's mental illness. It's not wellness. It's not freedom. That's not power, babies. They think they have power. They want power. That's what this one guy keeps coming at me with different channels. With his sadomaso crap coming at me over and over and over again. I know who you are, baby. I know who you are. Okay, I'm not gonna even mention the name. I think other people know too. There are several that are not very well in the head. Okay, I'm not judging you. I'm not making fun of you, but your bodies are totally toxic. That's why you can't sleep. That's why you have obsessions. That's why you stalk people. If your stalked target, if she turns around and says, "Oh, can I love you back?" Love, that wasn't even love. So, but I give you attention back. How about that? They run. They run away screaming. What is that all about? That's a legitimate question to ask. Why are you running away screaming? What are you afraid of? Yesterday in the chat there was a guy, he said he doesn't even want to mention any of these names and words and the sensuality type of stuff. He's ashamed about it. Why are you ashamed about sexuality and sensuality? Why are you ashamed about your body parts? That's what the problem is in the world. That's why there's so much suffering. There's so much suffering because people are not loving themselves. They're ashamed of themselves. I've been through this myself. I'm just starting to free myself from those chains. I don't want it anymore. I'm not ashamed. I used to really be ashamed of being a girl. I used to be ashamed of having a vagina. My mother made me ashamed. I was also sexually abused. Can you imagine how much shame that puts on a girl? Horrific. Horrific. There's no shame in this. Okay? No shame. These are our natural bodies. Boobs are wonderful, you know. You need to pet your boobs a lot. You know? You pet your baby skin. Your entire body, you know. I say to my body, baby, I love you. You know, like I used to hold my papa dog around his belly. He had this big belly too. That's what the European Basset Hounds have. They are big babies. I had my arm around him just like that. He had very little hair on his belly, like tiny little white hair on the belly, like pink, you know, with the navel, everything. And I said, baby, you're my paradise. Okay, I live for you. And we need to also love our own bodies in the same way. And we need to love all living beings like this. You need to love your dogs. You need to bring your dogs in the house, okay? This is so incredibly, infinitely important to do that, okay? Bring your dogs in the house. They do not deserve to be out there shivering like this. And I've seen a mother dog, you know, with big nipples, you know, big, they have so many boobs, the dogs. And she had just served them with a litter, right? And then they put her out there in ice and snow and on the chain. And she's suffering out there, suffering, trying to stay warm, getting from one foot to another, just lifting her feet from the ice, right? And just living like this until she dies, you know, until she dies from a bladder infection or something. This is utter cruelty. This cannot be tolerated. People are so disconnected from themselves and from the living beings around them that they don't even see the animal as another being, as part of you. They're sentient beings, just like you are. Bring your animals in the house. Please, do it for me. Do it for them. Do it for yourself. Do it to make the world a better place, okay? You guys take care.